Welcome, Bowtie bandits! Today we'll be going over a game called Fall Guys. This is one of those new Battle Royale type games that's all based around mini-games. So what I want to do is I want to go over a couple of the mini-games, break them down, show you the tips, tricks, and ideas that I use to win them, so hopefully we'll all be able to take home a few more crowns. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first game, Hit Parade. For this one, our two main concerns will be our opponents and a little bit of timing. We'll take a quick look at the obstacles here as we run through them. The first one being the rollers. While they don't actually spin, they are circular, so you can slide off of them pretty easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the blue one head on, straight down the middle, easy. Jumping over to the yellow one, we go on try and stay in the middle and make the transition over to the flat platform. With that, we'll go ahead and we'll move up onto the little spinners. It'll take a couple of people to push them, so you will have to bunch up with a couple of people at this point. Now what we're looking at this gate, seeing as the big gap sits open, once that closes you can get through the side. So we're going to sneak on by. We get a little pulled here, but we can go through Newton's cradle, just kind of try and dodge these little balls. As you can see, I get nailed here once, and we're going to keep moving on. Now we only have to be in the top 41, and as you can see I'm pretty close to the beginning, so we're going to make our ascent up the slow mountain. Hold off trying to stay on that side, and you'll easily make it to the top, which will qualify you pretty quickly. Now as you can see, a few of these guys, you don't want to jump in the little goop here because you lose your momentum and you slide back down. And as you can see, due to that jump, that space guy didn't make it. Well, this quickly takes us down. We drop the remaining all the way to 41 after the first mini game. That's still quite a few people left, but we've knocked out a good 19 people. With that, we'll move on to the next mini game, the WHIRLYGIG. The WHIRLYGIG is also another obstacle course, but this one is more about jumping and timing than anything else. Again, the biggest problem you'll probably run into are your opponents. So let's take a quick look at our opponents and where we are. We want to try and kind of stay in the middle. Now, with too many people around, they can pull, grab you, and knock you around. Now, with these little sweepers here, if you jump over them, and like you can see, too many of us were together, and the ones that did get hit actually knocked me into me and had me a little stumble there. Just want to keep an eye on that. Keep your timing up. Make sure you jump over the little poles here and there. As you can see, I didn't make that one quite as elegantly as I should. You're going to want to go up this little conveyor belt. And what I like to do is jump on the little yellow cheese block up to there. Do the little timing to get through here. And just kind of avoid the inflatables. They'll bounce you around. Now there's a dead spot in between these two whirligigs, so you want to head through where I did there. And you're all good to go. Now on this side, if you get up here, you want to time it and then just kind of slide on through. Now the middle is a very difficult jump here, but if you time this right, sometimes missing this will actually push you onto that blue platform over here. As you can see, I didn't quite make it that time. Now if you are actually trying to get through this center whirligig, you probably don't want to do it on the right hand side like I'm trying here, as that is not the best way to do it. The best way to actually make it through, now I would say, is to use the left hand side of the ramp. As you'll see here, I'm able to do it right now. I believe I go up the whirligig here, jump on through. It's all about timing there, and it can be a little bit off. So if you're kind of just trying to qualify, and you notice that a lot of people are actually into the point where they can qualify, you want to not do that and go around the outside. Now, I would say about 3 tries on that is about the maximum you can kind of give that one. But we came in at 28th there. Not a great showing, but it did all right for me. We made a few mistakes. We tried to go through the center a little bit more than what we should have there. Now, we're down to 30 people. Half the lobby's been out. We've played 2 mini games. At max, we'll play 5, so we got 3 more coming. That is if we're able to take home the crown. Now, in the next mini game, Tag Tail. This is pretty easy. Or Tail Tag, as the actual game is called. You just want to have a tag at the, you just want to have a tail at the end of it. So having a tail at the beginning or keeping a tail throughout most of it doesn't do you any good. So while the first couple of minutes are important, or the first couple of seconds are important, what you want to do is kind of keep an eye on who are really bad at keeping their tails and who... You want to kind of watch the field, play your opponents. This one, your opponents will be the biggest problem. Alright? Now if you're quick enough, you can do what I did there, where you just instantly turn around and grab their tail. The hammers can also be your greatest allies here. Because if you get a good jump, they can knock you across the map. So let's go ahead and have Greeny's tail here. He isn't very good at running away. We'll use that hammer to kind of pop us away from this trainer who's running after us. We keep to the outside because easily it is the best way to kind of tell where people are and make sure you're not running into anybody. Now, in this one, no one's really paying attention to me, so we kind of got that going for us. Those two guys should have ran after me to grab the tail. Yeah, as you can see, the white bean had the good idea here. Now, he's running up to that other guy with a tail, which now leaves us two options to go for a tail. Now we're in the final 30 seconds, so now's where we have to be careful. We really want to keep our tail, and we want to avoid people. So if we can set up other people to lose their tail and us to keep ours, would have been great. But we end up losing it, so we're going to go to the middle here. This is where most of the people come to. Now the biggest thing is when you're trying to get somebody's tail is you want to run angles. So like if I want to get the toucan there, you see how I ran around in a way that where the toucan was going instead of directly behind him. And that guy was running at me, easy enough to snag the tail as he runs by. Now my unpredictable turnaround there made that jelly bean miss, which is pretty good. Take the hammer ride here, we're over here, and boom, enough to qualify. Now that was a pretty easy one in that game. Sometimes tail tag can be a little bit more difficult with better opponents. But without further ado, we're going to drop down to 15 people remaining. Moving into mini game 4, not too bad. So we'll move on to the next mini game here. That would be fall ball. This is a team mini game. These are the hardest ones to win. Mainly because no matter how good you are, if your team isn't up to snuff, you don't have a good chance of winning these. So, best bet I can make here is just hope that the blue team has an advantage, that we've got some decent players on the team and they know what they're doing. Now the thing about fall ball is there are a few ways to hit the ball in which to make it move in the best possible way. And you see you can just jump into the ball, which tends to be in most cases that is the best option to hit the ball with, because it gets you the most momentum and you push it the farthest that way. Now you can also do the little header jump, like the dive. You see I just totally whiff on the ball there. A lot of the time that's what happens with a dive. You miss the ball, you're not able to hit it correctly, the ball doesn't go in the ways you want it to. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world. As you can see, a lot of people aren't very good at these mini games, so you can kind of keep it in check. Now we're 1-1. I am not feeling too good about this. My team isn't great at pushing the offensive, and neither am I very good at this mini game at all. Now we got a good cross from the side. Big thing that you want to do and remember in this mini game is you don't always want to be on the sides hitting the ball. If your entire team is on the corners hitting the ball, you're not going to do a lot of good. What you want to do is kind of like in actual soccer, you set up for a cross. So you take someone with the ball down the side, and then they'll hit it to the middle like that guy did. Now if I'd have been in position, I'd have been able to just tap that in, and boom, bada bing, we were all good to go. Luckily though, the ball just kind of slid in there. Now here, that was a good cross. We were in the middle. We were almost able to take effect of it, but too many yellow people to stop the ball from going in. Here I am being horrible again, missing the ball every single time. I cannot get a dive hit to save my life, but a good dive hit will push the ball at a decent speed. So you do want to keep that in your bag of tricks. You just don't want to use it as your #1 option. Now with this ball here, that's an easy little tap, and in it goes. Now I'm using the dive tactic here too much. You want to do more of a jump into the ball, like I said. Now we got about 8 little yellow guys, so if they do that, I'm able to just pop it over the heads and knock it in. Again, too many people after one ball is really bad. So if you're playing with your buddies, just keep that in mind. And you always want somebody deep to stop balls like that. As you can see, that shouldn't have been an easy score for him, but because no one's actually back there behind to stop the ball, not much we could do about that. We're looking at a good setup here. 2 to 4, 10 seconds left. We should be able to take this no problem. Again, we just got to keep the ball on the end zone, so just keep tapping it away. And again, I could probably score this. I've only got to worry about the little wolf and the raptor. But we ran out of time and we qualified. Easy enough. Moving right along onto that 5th and final mini game. Now, normally you only have about 3 options that you can get for your final mini game. They can be the mountain obstacle course, they can be the hexagon mini game, or the tail tag mini game. Since we already played tail tag, Fall Mountain's pretty much the only real option we have at this point. I guess it could have been hexagon, but it's okay. This is a fairly standard obstacle course. We've been slamming these and winning these pretty much every option or every chance that we had. So we'll take a look at a few things that we need to watch out for here. Falling off that, I don't know why my little bean fell down there, but we got this little pink jelly bean wants to grab us. That's not nice, buddy. So we got to push these things out of the way and dodge the balls. Whatever you want to do is you want to kind of catch between these two, and you want to make sure you stay to the side that's spinning up the mountain, because if it hits you and knocks you up, That's good, not a problem. Now these hammers, same things. You want to kind of keep going towards the way that the hammer is spinning so it'll knock you forward if it does hit you. Now these are actual jumps you have to make. Remember that when you get there, because the first time you run into it, you can't move. Now the crown will go up and down, as you can see. That little dude's about to get there, but I was too quick on the crown there, and we're going to take home our first victory today. Now, honestly, easy way to win those is just kind of keep your timing, understand where you need to be. That guy could have beaten me there if he hadn't a stutter step. If he just ran and jumped, he probably would have got it. That timing on the crown is really hard to get, but if you go ahead and practice that a couple of times, you'll be able to nail it all day long. Now with that, those are some easy tips and tricks to use as you're playing through some of these games. What I'd like to do is break it down a little bit further in the next video. So if you're new to the channel and you liked what you saw, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Come back and watch some more videos on how to play Fall Guys and other games. Feel free to also ring the bell, get notifications on so you can see you in the next video and how you can keep beating your opponents in these Battle Royale games. I hope to see you guys all in the next episode. Good night, everyone, and keep it classy.